Yeah. Way up.
Yo, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and it is a Thursday. This would be Jasmine's favorite day of the week. You know, she likes the anticipation of a Friday, anticipation of the weekend. But I want to tell y'all something. I'm embarrassed and ashamed of this. So I've been saying I'm going to start this detox for the longest. I just went on vacation, came back, like, all right, I'm ready to go. I already fell yesterday. Already. It's been one day. I did one day good. And then yesterday I ended up going to eat at this restaurant. And in my defense, and Dan is here. I see you looking at me, our producer. Here. Yes. In my defense, there's like a lot going on. It's Fashion Week here in New York. So there's a lot of events, activities. A lot of people are in town who normally aren't here. Everybody wants to go to dinner, have a drink. Tonight, there's a dinner for Top Boy, because, you know, that just came out on Netflix, the new and final series of Top Boy. So I know everybody's excited to go and watch that. And then my boy H.O., shout out to H.O. It was his birthday.
Happy
he has an
H.O.
event. And then, you know, I have to go. My friend Ingrid's in town from LA, and it's hard. It's hard to do a detox in the midst of a lot of activities, so I might have to push this till next.
So when you say detox, what's the extent of it?
So the detox is, you know, no drinking, lots of water, fruits, vegetables. I can do grains, no chicken, because, you know, I only eat chicken, and no carbs. And
Carbs is tough.
Yeah, carbs are tough, but it's only for 2 weeks. And so I've done it before. I actually did a fast for 2 weeks, where the only thing I had was water and coconut water for 2 weeks.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It was tough to work with you.
Why?
Because you were always exhausted.
Oh. Well, you know, it was good though. And it's a good thing. And if people, and I'll talk about it, you know, more at some other point, because Coach Jesse and the Detox Now, they're the ones that really put me up on that, Dr. Ramoon, and all the benefits of that, and kind of giving your body a break from breaking things down that you shouldn't be always having and things like that, because think about how hard your organs work to process this food and all of that. So it gives it time to rebuild and get strong again, all of your organs. So it did feel good after, but during it wasn't easy. So yes, I've fallen. I need help. So I need accountability. I need people to be like, what did you eat today? So if y'all want to check in on me, you know, every single day, I'm ready. I feel like I could start again tomorrow. Yes.
Wow.
All right. Well, let's get the show started. We'll shine a light on them. 800-292-5150 is a number. Let us know who you want to shine a light on. We got a couple of guests joining us because, like I said, it's Fashion Week. Mitchell S. Jackson, Pulitzer Prize winning author. He has a book, Fly. It's the big book of basketball fashion. It's amazing. Also, Lauren Lake. I love her, and she has the show Paternity Matters. You know her as a judge on television, and she has her own show, Paternity Matters. We'll talk about the road that she took to get there. But in the meantime, let's shine a light. 800-292-5150 is Way Up.
Shine. I'ma shine.
Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and it's time to shine a light on them. 800-292-5150 is a number. Call us up and let us know who you want to spread some love to and shine a light on. Now, this story is one that I read in Black Enterprise. You know, every day I look at Black Enterprise, and I always think about my girl, Devon Reeves. She's a Black woman that owns hotels, and she's always encouraging people to buy and get into that business, and she'll teach you how to do it. She talks about how she did it. She's definitely always on me about doing it. So I saw a great story in that vein. Deirdre Mathis, she just made history. She has the first Black-owned hotel, first woman Black-owned hotel in downtown Houston. It's the 10-room, adults-only Wander Stay Boutique Hotel. It's the first Black-owned hotel. She opened it on August 28th. All right, Deirdre Mathis also made history when she opened the first Black-owned hostel in the United States back in 2018. And since then, that hostel has hosted over 15,000 guests. So shout out to her and congratulations, because I know that's not an easy business to get into. Even me trying to do my little real estate things here and there, it's a lot of work. And so shout out to Deirdre Mathis for being the first to do both of those things. All right. And to be an inspiration to everybody who feels like, man, how do I get into a business like this? And now you can see somebody who looks like you who's doing it. All right. Well, let's see who you guys want to shine a light on. 800-292-5150 is the number. Call us up. John, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Who would you like to shine a light on today?
So I want to shine the light on all the guys that I play games with. You know, they're family to me now. You know, we've been playing games together for years now, and we created something out of it, you know.
What type of games? Like video games?
Yeah, like video games, you know. We all produce content. They're like family to me now, and I want to shine the light on all of them.
You get
every single person that's, you know, been in my life for that situation and brought me happiness with that.
Okay. How much money y'all making? Like, you know, give us an idea.
So we're all influencers, like on TikTok, and we created a small business, esports business, which is a video game business. I'd say I make the most because I have the most followers, but, you know, we help each other getting up there.
Okay.
It's all about the grind.
What's your page so people could find you and more people could follow?
So my TikTok is retro, RXTRO, FPS, and then I'm also on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that, same username as well.
All right. Well, thank you for calling. See, you can make money doing something you love.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely something I love.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye, John. Well, that was Shine a Light on them. 800-292-5150 is the number just in case you couldn't get through. And when we come back, we have your Yeetie. For everybody eagerly waiting for Drake's album For All the Dogs to come out, we have that release date for you. He has officially announced it, and he got somebody very important to approve. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
She about to blow the lid up off this pot.
Let's get it.
Oh, yeah. Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
Come and get the tea.
Yo, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and it's time for that Yee tea. And I know you guys are going to be excited for this, right? Drake has announced the For All the Dogs release date. Okay, he posted on social media, For All the Dogs, September 22nd. If you guys recall, people thought it was going to come out previously. There was a post that it looked like the album was about to come out, and then it didn't. People were disappointed, but he let y'all know, I never said that. All right, you guys assumed it. So now we do have a date that he announced. And Drake's father went on Instagram and said, I had the pleasure of sitting in my son's dressing room and listening to this new album. And I must say that it is some of the best music that I've heard him do. And I'm sure that every Drake fan throughout the entire world is going to feel this one. Everyone about For All the Dogs is what we've been waiting for. Congratulations, son. I really feel this one. He could be biased.
Could be.
You know, that's Dan, our producer.
I'm excited.
But I know you are. And Drake responded to his dad, thanks, Dad. I was so happy you loved it. That's cute. All the generations. He got his son and his dad. And I'm sure his son Adonis is dancing on the couch to it. All right. Drake also has Nothing Was the Same merch coming out. And that is going to be ahead of the 10-year anniversary. There's a website, Drake fan page, that posted the merch is on the way. So you guys get ready, because I know... Does Drake have a name for his gang? Like Drake fans?
Oh,
you know, like Nicki has the Barbs.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
It's DrakeRelated.com, by the way.
Yeah, DrakeRelated.com.
That's where you get all the Drake merch.
All right, and Drake and the Weeknd, this is more Drake news. They have an AI-generated song that they had nothing to do with, but it's being considered for 2 Grammy Awards, all right? It's all composed and arranged by a ghostwriter. This person processed vocals via artificial intelligence to resemble their voices, but without them being involved. And the song did well when it was released over the spring, and it's been making the rounds despite the fact that it was taken down multiple times. The song is called Heart on My Sleeve. Here's a refresh.
All I know is you could have had the world. Had the world. Yeah, you were my world. Got these girls on my neck. Got these girls on my check.
Okay, now I want to say this does not feel right. A song that is AI generated, Drake and the Weeknd, that they had nothing to do with, is now being considered for a Grammy.
Do you like how it sounds?
You know I'm not the biggest Weeknd fan.
Yeah.
It's fine, but you know, I just don't think that should be eligible.
No,
I don't think it's right.
Absolutely.
And they've gotten that song taken down multiple times. Are they getting paid from it? But the reason they said it is eligible, according to the CEO of the Recording Academy, he said it's absolutely eligible because it was written by a human. And so it's being considered for perhaps best rap song and song of the year for writing and composing rather than performance.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's crazy. It's the two biggest artists in the world's voices.
So does that mean anybody can now do this?
You can give those 2 voices any lyrics and it would do great.
All right. And Tom Brady has done a deal with Delta Airlines. Who would have thunk it? All right. He is now a strategic advisor for them. So the CEO of Delta said Delta's people are driven by their commitment to world-class performance, excellence, and a desire to achieve best-in-class results. Bringing a leader like Tom onto the Delta team furthers our mission to connect the world. So he's going to assist them in developing, advising on strategic training and teamwork tools for their more than 90,000 workers. That seems random too, but here's Tom Brady.
Very fortunate to join the team and working with all the employees and, continue to help inspire people to, grow great communities and teams of people and companies. And I've been very fortunate over the years to be a part of a lot of those. And I think in this next chapter of my life to continue to do things like that is really, stimulates my own personal growth in a lot of ways. And I'm excited to share a lot of the lessons I've learned.
I feel like that's a pretty random thing, but okay. All right. Well, that is your Yeetie. And by the way, it is a Thursday. And I want to shout out again to Lauren Lake, who's going to be joining us. She has her own show, Paternity Matters. Yes. And it's also Fashion Week. So shout out to Mitchell S. Jackson, the Pulitzer Prize winning author of Fly, the big book of basketball fashion. He'll be joining us as well. But when we come back, we have About Last Night. And I told you that I have fallen from grace. And I'm going to tell you what happened last night to make that happen. I ran into some people too. I told you it's Fashion Week. There's a lot going on. We got a lot happening tonight. It's really hard to try to be good about your drinking and eating at a time like this when everybody's in town. But About Last Night, when we come back, it's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Last night.
So, about last night.
Last night.
Here's how it went down.
Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and it's time for About Last Night. Now, I just was on vacation. I was in Anguilla, and I came back, and I was like, man, every time I go on vacation, I always gain a few pounds because I'm not, watching what I eat, having drinks, eating what I want. A lot of rice and peas, a lot of things like that. Dan, I know you like to eat too.
I sure do.
So I came back and I was like, I'm going to start this detox, and I've been talking about this for so long. Now, what are the benefits of a detox, right? Have you ever done a detox?
No, but I should. I feel like they're great for your organs, right?
It's also great
that.
for your skin. Because if you think about it, a lot of times, when you eat things, you might get a breakout or your skin looks, whatever. But anyway, it's good for a lot of different things. Healthier hair is good for, actually, it makes you think clearer. Maybe the first couple of days, you're a little bit like super hungry and everything you see and everything you smell feels like elevated because you're so hungry. You just want to eat. And it's hard to find things to do when you're doing a detox. Like it's hard to go out to meet with people because usually when you're going to meet up with somebody, what do you do?
Eat or drink.
Yeah. Let's go get some food. Let's go get dinner. Let's go have a drink. Even when you're with your family, no matter what it is, that's kind of how we relate to each other. So now you have to be craftier in coming up with things that you can do that don't involve food and drinks, right? So, for instance, like last time I did it, I'd be like, okay, we'll go talk. Let's go get a mani-pedi. Let's go to the spa. Let's go for a walk. But it's hard, because we're just such a social society where everything revolves around eating and drinking. So I went out to eat with Sade from Netflix. Shout out to Sade. She's in town, I guess, working on some things. It's Fashion Week. I ran into Rashad and Troy from Earn Your Leisure in 19 Keys. They were actually at the same restaurant I went to. Now, the restaurant I went to is called Lagos. Have you been there?
I have not.
So Lagos is in Times Square. It's a Nigerian restaurant. It's really, really good. It actually just opened in that location last year. Mm-hmm. And so every time I can get a chance to go there and show some support, I always do. So initially, I told Sade, I'm doing this detox, so I'm not going to, drink or I'm going to have a salad. And what do you think happened?
What'd you order?
Well, I did end up saying, you know what? I'm going to have just one Don Julio Añejo on the rocks with soda, and that's it. And then we ended up having a couple of more.
Of course.
Then we ended up doing a couple of shots, just celebrating. And then I ended up being there for quite some time. So that's actually what happened yesterday when I decided that I was going to go out. That was my About Last Night. But what it made me realize is accountability and also willpower. Part of, I think, doing a detox is willpower. To show yourself that like you can do something like this, And one more thing that happened last night too, I want to talk about this. When you're out with somebody, right? And then Rashad and Troy, they were walking in and they stopped by the table. I'm like, do I say, hey, this is Sade from Netflix? Or do I just say, because there might be a connection that they would like to have.
Yeah.
And, this is Rashad and Troy. Or do you just I don't know how to do that because sometimes it feels awkward and you don't know if the person sitting there wants you to be like, this is such and such from you know.
I get that, but I feel like because everyone there was in the industry, it would have made sense to. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have been as weird as if like you were just like, I don't know.
Because depending on who it is, like how I introduce people, for instance, Tashara, that's a friend of mine. She's a writer. She's a writer for Page Six.
Right.
And so sometimes, what if she wrote something unflattering about somebody?
That's different.
Yeah, like Janae from Bossip. Yep. She might be like, please don't introduce me as
Same
Janae from
Jasmine.
Bossip. Jasmine, well, she owns the Jasmine brand. That's her fault for naming it after herself. So that's a harder thing. But it was an awkward, like, I had to like, do you want me to tell them, you know, who you are and where you work? Or
I'm sure the guys would have appreciated it.
So we did, yeah. Okay. And then they exchanged information, and I think now everybody's going to the Top Boy premiere dinner tonight for this last season. All right, well, that was my About last night. All of that to say, y'all make sure you guys watch Top Boy, because the season did come out. And then I went home, and it was midnight, and this I was thinking that it dropped already, so I went on, but it hadn't come out yet. But it was out this morning. The new episodes. All right. Well, when we come back, we have Mitchell S. Jackson. Like I told you, it's a very active time here in New York because it is New York Fashion Week and everybody's in town right now. So we're talking to Mitchell S. Jackson when we come back. He actually has an amazing book out that you guys will love. It's called Fly, the Big Book of Basketball Fashion. And when you think about how basketball players, how NBA players reflect the time periods that we're in, and also how important fashion and music play a part in what these guys are wearing and in society. It's a pretty interesting book, and it's beautiful. All right, so Mitchell S. Jackson, when we come back, it's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yeah, she back at it. Bring in the Mac. Way Up with Angela Yee is on.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and we are definitely way up today. Now we have author, Pulitzer Prize winning author, yes. I might add, who, by the way, and we're going to talk about this too, interviewed me back in the day, okay? Yeah. Mitchell S. Jackson is here with his book, Fly, the Big Book of Basketball Fashion.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. This is right up my alley, too.
Yeah, nice.
You know, it is Fashion Week. Mm-hmm. And it's also the 50th anniversary of hip-hop.
That's right.
You know, and hip-hop and the NBA definitely go hand in hand when it comes to fashion and influence.
Absolutely.
You know, first of all, I had to check out what you had on, because you can't do a book about fashion, but it's very nice. You know, even from the what do they call it, accoutrements?
Yeah, accoutrements. That's right. Yeah.
I'm trying to use big words, guys. Okay. But all of that, the glasses, everything, because I had to make sure that this all goes in line.
Yeah. I can't write about fashion and not be in fashion. That would just be blasphemous, really, right?
Yeah. But we think about fashion, and there's certain people who really stand out in our minds when we think about the NBA and we think about fashion. First, I think Dennis Rodman.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's not just his clothes, but I just remember the iconic picture where he had on the wedding dress.
Yes, for his book release.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what were your thoughts when you first saw that?
You gotta think, like, that's a whole different context for me to see that, right? Like, the idea of masculinity was all different when I saw Dennis Rodman in the 90s doing that. So I was like, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? I mean, now I can understand it, right? I mean, if you're talking about a person that was before his time, Dennis Rodman was before his time. But before him, we got to talk about Walt Frazier, right?
Yeah.
Like the Knick legend, suits, right? But even before him, there's, to me, Wilt Chamberlain, a big dude who was really, really, really fly.
Allen Iverson is another person who always comes to mind when we think about the dress code that they have in the NBA and how things changed a lot because of him. But I also feel like that was a time when you realized how racist things could be too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, hip hop for me is I mean, you know, it was born out of the struggle, right? It was like a really counterculture movement. And so to embody that ethos in the NBA, which was really trying to be mainstream, like, that's a struggle. And I think Iverson, we were also coming up here talking about Latrell Sprewell, who was another guy in that era who was really pushing against the rules. Iverson was a better player, obviously, like a generational talent. So he mattered more. But there are a lot of guys in that moment that were like, nah, we hip hop and this is how we do it in hip hop.
You know, just talking about that, because with the cornrows, you know, I feel like the hairstyles really mattered a lot, and the baggy clothes. The jewelry also. I remember Michael Jordan with the hoop earrings. You have that in here also.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that made people want to go get those little hoops. Like, I feel like, but then he also had the jeans that people didn't kind of made fun of his jeans.
Yeah, I mean, I think because hip hop is, Jordan is like a little bit older than hip hop, right? So like, we could not understand them high-waisted jeans in the 90s.
Right now I'm talking to Mitchell S. Jackson, author of Fly, the Big Book of Basketball Fashion. And the Jordan sneakers, though. You also have a whole part, the top 10 sneakers of all time.
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
So you have the Converse All-Stars in the
Yes.
60s.
Yeah.
My, how things have, and they're
Changed.
still around, to be clear, though.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you look at those Comme des Garçons sneakers. I mean,
I have
those are
those.
Chucks, right? Yeah, right, exactly. I got some colors in them.
And
yeah.
the Sony did
Yeah.
a collab with them, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, so everybody's still doing collabs. Although they kind of hurt my feet. I don't think you could play basketball.
Nah, yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, they must have had some cold bunions and blisters on their feet back in the 50s.
All right, then you have the Pro Kids.
Yep.
This is in 1969.
Kicked it off.
But then, of course, the Jordans.
Yes.
And I feel like that is what really changed the game for
Absolutely.
everybody. And even watching the movie Air, you
Yes.
know, that just came out and understanding
Yeah.
the whole story behind that.
Amazing film. Yeah. The way they got him. I mean, Sonny Vaccaro, like, shout out to him for being so persistent and doing that. But yeah, Jordan's really, I mean, that's the turn, right? Like, I don't know of another sneaker brand where people stand outside for days to get the new release.
And
right?
at times even risk their lives.
Yeah.
And steal them from other people, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would you say, if you had to name one person that has been the most influential in the NBA when it comes to fashion?
I think right now it has to be maybe like the young kids. I would say it's probably like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander,
Okay.
he's voted most fashionable man by GQ twice in a row. But I don't really think that a lot of people are necessarily emulating that look. I think they admire it. I think there's a difference between like emulating a certain look and then admiring it. So I would say, even though he's now the elder statesman in the league, LeBron.
Yeah.
Because he does so many things, different kinds of looks. Like he does a streetwear look, he does a high fashion look, he has all the jewelry that they want. He always has the new sneakers, right? Like, remember, he got the Tiffany blue Nikes
Yeah, he did.
before
It was
everybody
impossible.
else, right? So
I
I think
tried.
LeBron is still up here in terms of fashion and in a fashion that people want to emulate. Like, they want to have the new stuff. He's not necessarily taking the most risk, but he's doing things that translate to a lot of people.
So it's more relatable.
Yeah.
You know, definitely more. I think John Morant is probably very relatable, too.
Yeah, well, if you're from the South, you know, like you want
Right,
some
right.
gold fronts and
Yeah.
some color in your braids, and yeah, you John Morant, but that ain't how we doing it on the West Coast.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you for coming through because I know it's Fashion Week. I know
Yeah.
you're also on tour, so let's make sure we talk about that, too.
Yeah, I'm around, Atlanta, LA, the kind of regular stops that you go to on book tour. And then September 20th in my hometown of Portland.
I appreciate you for coming through. Did we
What
miss
about
any?
that Smooth magazine?
Oh my God.
story?
All right. So yeah, here's the story. So a long time ago, many moons ago. And that had to be like when I was on Sirius.
Yes, it was before, yes.
Let's see, when did Smooth, I feel like it might have went out of business.
It
after this.
did. I don't remember what year, but I mean, I ain't been there for 10 years. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when were you at Sirius?
That was like 13 years ago.
There we go.
Yeah, we did you interviewed me.
Yeah.
For Smooth Magazine.
Yeah.
Not very risque.
No.
you know.
This is just a regular profile, yes.
But no, I appreciate it, and I love the fact that we're crossing paths again, and I know we're gonna end up doing a lot more together.
All right, appreciate it.
You know, listen, Pulitzer Prize winning author. Let's not forget that part.
Yeah.
That part. Okay,
Uh-huh.
Mitchell S.
I
Jackson.
feel like, baby, put some spec on it.
You wanted to say, no, it's Fly, the big book of basketball fashion. And by the way, also a great gift to give somebody. Things like this are what I'm always looking for. Like, what can I give as a present? So
Yeah.
this is it. All right. Thank you so much to Mitchell S. Jackson for joining us. Make sure y'all pick up his book, Fly, the big book of basketball fashion. And when we come back, since we're talking basketball, let's get into some Yeetie. We'll talk about Nike's Mamba program schools that have been unveiled by Vanessa Bryant. We'll give you some details. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
They say it's truth in the rumors.
From industry shade to all the gossip,
Talk to me.
Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and it's time for some Yeetie. All right, well, Vanessa Bryant has given us some information about the Mamba program at different schools. She went on social media yesterday, and she confirmed that there are several Nike-affiliated colleges that are partnering with Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation, and those universities will be carrying forward the legacy of Kobe and Gigi Bryant. So those schools also will wear Nike Kobe sneakers on the court throughout the 2023-2024 NCAA season. University of Connecticut, University of Southern California, University of Kentucky, University of Oregon, and Duke University and Louisiana State University. So she said, we are grateful for the amazing support of these prestigious universities towards the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation to further the legacies of Kobe and Gigi. So excited to see their players wearing Kobe and Gigi's Nike shoes this upcoming season. All right, and Kourtney Kardashian, she had quite a scare. She posted on Instagram that she had urgent fetal surgery over the week, and she thanked her husband, Travis Barker, for rushing to the hospital to be by her side. She said, as someone who had 3 really easy pregnancies in the past, I wasn't prepared for the fear of rushing into urgent fetal surgery. I don't think anyone who hasn't been through a similar situation can begin to understand that feeling of fear. I have a whole new understanding and respect for the mamas who have had to fight for their babies while pregnant. Fortunately, she said her baby boy is still in her tummy and safe, and she said that was the truest blessing. And Universal Music has struck a deal. You know, everybody's been talking about streaming economies, how these are unfair to the artists, but they are going to lift payouts to professional artists by 10%. And that is with Universal Music Group and the French streaming service Deezer. They have agreed to this arrangement. It is the first big shift in the music streaming business model since the launch of Spotify back in 2008. So as part of this new model, streams of songs from professional artists will be given double the weight of streams from non-professionals when calculating royalty payments. And what makes one a professional artist? That means that you generate at least 1,000 listens a month. All right. I know it's doesn't sound like much, but it's a little more fair, and there's a lot more work to do. And Jeezy, his new book, Adversity for Sale, You Gotta Believe, has made the New York Times bestseller list. That is quite an accomplishment. Here is his daughter with Jeannie Mai congratulating him.
God, I want to thank you for my family. God, thank you because my daddy made the New York Times bestsellers list.
Jeannie Mai posted, today I celebrate a remarkable milestone achieved by my husband, Jeezy, whose memoir, Adversity for Sale, has soared to the New York Times bestsellers list. So congratulations to them. And shout out to his publicist, Ernest Dukes. He also sent us a press release about that. His memoir, Adversity for Sale, is back for week 2 on the New York Times bestsellers list. So not only did it make it the first time around, but it's already back on for week 2. I'm sure it's going to be on that list for many more weeks. So shout out to them. Make sure y'all pick up Adversity for Sale. All right, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Yeetie. And when we come back, of course, we have Under the Radar. These are the stories that are not necessarily in the headlines. They're flying under the radar, okay? Imagine if you're married to a cop and there's video footage floating around of him getting into a backseat with another woman. We'll talk about it. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yeah, news. This is the news that relates to you. These stories are flying under the radar.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and it is time for Under the Radar. These are the stories that are not necessarily in the headlines. They are flying under the radar, and we want to make sure that you are aware. All right, Heron Preston and H&M have announced a long-term partnership. So it's a platform now called H2. It's design advisory with a focus on menswear, special collections, which is seasonal young talent through mentorship and more, and circular innovation. Now, per Preston, he said he has an admiration for a company the size of H&M, and he wants to take risks with that company. So shout out to them. They're going to announce additional details in the coming months for anybody who is interested in fashion. And it is Fashion Week. And yes, Dan, I know you love Heron Preston.
I do love Heron Preston.
I have actually 2 items, a jean jacket and a pair of jeans.
I just got a hoodie. I showed you the other day from
Yeah, you were so excited.
I was.
All right, well, good. You can get this H&M collection and maybe
I plan on it.
All right, now this was quite an interesting story. I saw this first. A cop in Maryland, he was getting in the backseat of his car with a woman, and the story looks pretty bad when you see this video, but then you find out even more details. According to the woman, Virginia Pinto, she said that the whole relationship with the officer, Francesco Marlett, was not a one-night stand, and the two of them have been seeing each other for about 2 years. Well, here's the thing. He's married. And she's unapologetic about that. She said, he's a cop. I'm a civilian. We got caught. It sucks, but this will pass. I'm living my life. I have children. I'm sure, as you guys know, I have a 15-year-old autistic boy. His father was Caucasian. I guess I have a thing for Caucasians. That's what the woman Virginia had to say. Well, after all of this, the Maryland police officer involved in this, his wife has spoken out. Her name is Paula Marlett, and she posted, "Thank you, everyone. Yes, this is a very tough time for me and my kids. As embarrassing and painful as this is, please check in on us. We need the support, the love, and most of all, the respect from the community and our families." And she goes on to say, "I'm not seeking anyone else's input. I don't need anyone's opinion. My life is my life. I will make decisions according. I love you all, except for you, Virginia. You can rot in hell, bitch." So, yes, check on her, but she do not mess with this chick, Virginia. But that has to be tough. She not only found out that her husband's been cheating on her with this woman, but the whole world knows. And you know what can happen when people are actually weighing in on something. All right. Now, in Pennsylvania, an inmate escaped. And you know how he escaped? By crab walking up a prison wall. There's a video. Now, Dan, did you see this video?
I did. Did you?
Yes, I did. All right. His name is Danilo Cavalcante, and he escaped using the same route another prisoner took in May. A tower guard on duty during the breakout was put on leave as part of the escape investigation. You know, they always might think that maybe this person was involved, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I'm not saying that he is.
No, I understand why they could immediately assume someone could be involved, though.
All right, so there's a security video, and you guys can see this online. He's standing in a passageway next to the jail yard. Then he puts his hands on one wall, his feet on the other, and crab walked up the wall.
Yeah, like parallel to the ground.
I know. That is, yeah, very bold, by the way.
Pretty athletic.
Yeah, a shout out to him. But if I feel like if somebody else escaped that same way before, maybe y'all need in that prison to figure that out. Right?
The walls are too close.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. All right, well, that is your Under the Radar. And of course, you know, we got that Way Up mix at the top of the hour when we come back. And Lauren Lake is going to be joining us. She is the host of her own show, Paternity Matters, but you know her as a very well-loved and liked judge on television. And I also have had some dealings with her. We'll talk about it when we come back. It's Way Up with Angela Yee. What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and it's time for your Yee Tea. Now, Breaking Bad on Netflix. According to Aaron Paul, he said he does not get residuals from that show. And he was on the SAG-AFTRA picket line in L.A. along with Bryan Cranston and Jesse Plemons last week. Here's what he told Entertainment Tonight Canada.
I don't get a piece from Netflix on Breaking Bad, to be totally honest. And that's insane to me. You know what I mean? Like, shows live forever on these streamers, and it goes through waves, you know? Just the other day that Breaking Bad was trending on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's crazy. Like, the fact that that show is such a huge show, and people are making money off of it, and they don't get any piece of that at all, especially when you're a star of a show, right? All right. And that's part of what all of these protests and everything is about right now. Previously, we talked about Joe Jonas and him filing for divorce from his wife, Sophie Turner. Remember this, Dan? We talked about how he allegedly saw something on the Ring doorbell or heard something.
Yes.
Well, now it looks like her side of the story is being told. And according to TMZ, sources are saying that he pressured her to attend events as she was struggling after giving birth. They said their youngest child was born a year ago, and Sophie didn't want to leave their home. She didn't want to be photographed or go to events. Nevertheless, she went to several events with him, but at one specific event, people said that she made it clear she was uncomfortable and didn't want to be there. So that is, I guess, from her side. It feels like with TMZ, one person saying one thing and then the other person's team is coming back to kind of refute that because nobody wants to look bad in the press. All right, A$AP Rocky has gotten the Virgil Abloh Award in Harlem, so congratulations to him for that. And he said several years back they were too young to get inside a club, but Virgil knew who they were, and he said that instantly made him and the rest of the A$AP Mob crew feel validated. All right, so shout out to him for getting that award in Harlem. E40 has launched a new pina colada flavored wine. By the way, E40 is caking up off of his spirits companies. He has his Earl Stevens selections. I don't know if you ever had it, Dan, but they are pretty good.
We've had it before.
Yeah. We've had it up here. I think I had like the Mango Scotto or something like that.
He sent it for lip service.
Yeah, so we enjoy that. So now he has a Pina Scotto, a pina colada flavored wine. They said it's a blend of pineapple, toasted coconuts, and the classic character of Moscato to create a unique and innovative wine concoction like none other.
Gonna try it?
I can't have anything pineapple related.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so
right.
I always have to be careful about that. And so unfortunately not that one, but I'll work on the other ones.
I'll try it for you.
Thank you. Ethan Hawke. He talked about directing his daughter, and this is for their film Wildcat. Now, he spoke to Variety about this. Imagine this, right? Ethan Hawke co-wrote and directed the film, and she stars as a novelist, and she portrays Flannery O'Connor. And there's some sex scenes. So imagine you have a daughter, you wrote a script, she's starring in this movie, and now you have to direct your own daughter in sex scenes. What do you think Ethan Hawke had to say about that?
Wild.
Well, he asked When asked about it, he said, "We were so comfortable with it, I couldn't care less." He said, "We made sure to have an intimacy coordinator on set so they felt safe and comfortable and not like they were being spied on." So that was the way to go about it.
How many takes do you think they had to do?
He's probably like, "That's it. You got it.
Yep,
Nailed
one
it."
and done.
Yeah. Nailed it and her in just one take. Did you think so? Okay. And Beyonce, listen, that concert, we told you guys, Lil Rel proposed to his girlfriend at the concert during Love on Top. And Lil Rel went on TMZ Live yesterday, and here's what he had to say about almost missing his engagement.
As soon as I start using the bathroom, that's when Love on Top coming on. So I start screaming, and so now I'm trying to hurry up and use the bathroom. I forget where the seats are. It's at the part where Miss Tina told me I should be proposing. So this will make the story even funny. The audience is singing their part way longer than usual to any show she's done because they're trying to get me to do the engagement. So I find a seat. I see the cameraman standing there sweating. And so this is what I do out of the trouble. Beyonce literally did like this. And so I went to go. The camera's on me. I went to propose, but she had to move on to the next song.
Can you imagine?
No, I couldn't. Sounds terrible for him.
Yeah.
Put all that planning into it, especially to do it on that type of stage. And then it's the bathroom.
Then it's the bathroom. But that's dope. Listen, you'll always remember that song. You'll always remember Beyonce for that. Yeah. Imagine being able to tell all your friends, here's the video footage of my man proposing to me at a Beyonce concert.
Imagine getting that favor and then disappointing Beyonce that you're not ready for the moment.
Or imagine she said no. Woo, nothing worse.
Probably better than letting her down.
Okay. All right. I was going to ask you a question, but I'm not.
Okay.
You know what it was?
I have an idea.
Okay. Since we were talking about, I always think about like, what is the best way when because you have a girlfriend, and when you think about it, right, you have to think about what would suit them if you were going to get, because some people might not want to be proposed to in front of people.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
Or maybe, all right.
Or not.
And the UFC and WWE are close to a merger next week, and that'll be a huge deal. Okay, they had originally said that it would be closing in mid to late September, and so now the deal is going to take control of WWE and merge it into a new standalone entity with the UFC, and that will be valued, they said, at $21 billion. That is a huge deal. All right, so shout out to them for that, by the way. I went to SummerSlam in Brooklyn before at the Barclays. Remember?
Have you ever been to a UFC fight?
I have not been to a UFC fight, but I have been to mixed martial arts fights. I was in Detroit at Motor City, and they do that. They have they do those fights there. So I went.
Those are a lot of fun to go to.
It is definitely a lot of fun, and it was very wild. All right, well, that is your Yeetie. Now, when we come back, today we also are going to be talking to Lauren Lake. You know, she has her own show right now, Paternity Matters. She's also a judge, and she's an amazing person. So we're going to talk to her about her new show and breaking off and doing her own thing, and how, I know that's a scary thing to do, but she's such a role model. I love Lauren Lake. She'll be joining us today. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Now I'm back at it.
You vibing Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and you know, during the show, I always sit here and I'm looking at like what's going on as I'm trying to make sure we have all the most up-to-date information for y'all. First of all, Cardi B has been trending, right, all day, and she is up here in these hallways today. So as you can imagine, she has her new song with Megan Thee Stallion, Bongos, dropping tomorrow, and she actually will be joining us for that. So shout out to Cardi B for coming through. She's amazing. She's very sweet. Like Dan, working with different artists and having different people come up here and be guests on the show. Most people are really great, but Cardi she's really gracious.
She really is.
Yeah.
She really is. And, you know, it's surprising because a lot of times the bigger the artist, the more gracious they are, which I always found to be very interesting. But Cardi really is a sweetheart. She shakes everyone's hands, you know, acknowledges everyone. She doesn't feel like she's like bigger than anyone.
Now, I am going to say this because she said it on the drop, but I had to get her a green juice.
Tune in tomorrow to learn why.
Yeah, so make sure y'all listen tomorrow and you'll find out what exactly was going on. But Cardi B is going to be joining us. Now, another person who I saw that is currently trending is Big Sean. And I'm sure it's for more reasons than one, but apparently this is all about this Kendrick song leaking. where allegedly he is going at Big Sean, French Montana, Jay Electronica, and Meek Mill. So that's what everybody is talking about this right now on social media. The original version of Kendrick Lamar's Element leaking. Some people are saying it's AI though.
It could be.
And that's what's really tough.
Yeah.
Like what's real and what's not real. So, shout out to everybody.
We just played that fake Drake and Weeknd song.
That could be potentially get a Grammy.
Right.
All right. The other person who is trending is Lotto. And when I tell you Lotto is trending right now, so if you want to know why, there's a remix with Lotto and Sexy Red that's coming out tomorrow called Peaches and Eggplants. Tomorrow's going to be a fun music day.
Yes. Young Nudie song, by the way. Peaches and Eggplants.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
With 21 Savage.
All right. Well, it looks like that's going to be coming out tomorrow. So, yeah, shout out to everybody that's on here. And that's why I love New Music Fridays. And I'm excited that Cardi B is going to be joining us tomorrow for New Music Friday. I know I saw she did an interview with Who Kid, but she also has been doing interviews for like 3 days straight, I feel like, to get ready for this song to come out.
She said it on her live. She did like 30 interviews yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
She's really pushing through. So, all right, and of course today we have a lot more things happening. Lauren Lake is going to be joining us. She's an attorney, but she also has her own show, Paternity Matters.
Paternity Matters, you're right.
Yeah, Paternity Matters is the name of her show. But she also had her court show, We the People, as well. So shout out to Lauren Lake. But she did do paternity court as well on broadcast television. But now she has her own thing. We always support that. Having your own thing, all right? So Lauren Lake is going to be joining us. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
You vibing Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and it is an honor to have Judge Lauren Lake here with me.
And it's an honor to be here with you.
Now, I first met you with Wean.
Yes.
Right? And so let's talk about what Wean is, because that was an organization that you're one of the co-founders of.
Yes. Women in Entertainment Empowerment Network. Myself, along with Felicia Butterfield-Jones, Christy Henderson, and Sabrina Thompson, started it way back in 2007.
Sheesh.
We wanted to empower young women. You was there with us. I don't know why you said that. You was there every step of the way.
I was like, woo, y'all did it, because I remember when you guys started it. Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, and you're one of our former Wean Award honorees. Yeah, we started to empower young women who wanted to have careers in the entertainment industry. And we wanted to allow them to see the vast nature of the industry, right? That it's not just with a microphone. It's not just behind the camera. There are so many other opportunities to be involved. And you were a professor many years, one of our honorees. And we appreciate you for always riding for us and for the young women we served.
I missed that program. And
so
it
do
was
I.
Amazing. And I will tell you this, like, a lot of the young women that went to Wean are still, like, to this day, I meet them all the time.
They're killing it.
Yes.
Killing it out here. They're everywhere. And we miss it too. And we thank you for everything you did.
Well, listen, we thank you guys for actually even doing that. You have such an amazing background to me, because you are so multifaceted.
Yes.
And I think that's important too, because people have to realize none of us have to be just one thing.
No.
Right? As an attorney, you have your own paternity court show.
Yes, I had paternity court, and now I have We the People judge show. Yep.
Now, I love a good judge show.
Yes.
But what I like about you in particular is that it seemed like you really did want to help people. And Paternity Matters.
It does. It does, which is my new show on YouTube. I always say court is adjourned, but the conversation can continue. And I do care, because people would say to me, well, why you want to do a show? You done all these shows, The View, Dr. Phil, this, that, and the third. Why you want to do a show about paternity? Because those are my people.
And the truth of the matter is that there's no like one size fits all situation, because I've seen an episode that I actually had the privilege to watch ahead of time, but there was one young man on there that his father didn't want to claim him.
Yes, we have a young man with a 41-year paternity secret, and he knows the man they say is his biological father. However, his mother admits and has told him he believes there's 4 other possible fathers.
Sheesh.
And he's lived with this for 41 years. And so that particular young man, Richard, we're going to be getting the answers for him. The results show will be airing soon.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Because actually my heart goes out to him, because imagine growing up and not knowing.
He so beautifully describes, and I think it might be episode 2, how it felt the rage that was in him, the way he acted out, having to go into foster care, right? Because his mom struggled with addiction, and wondering, like, wherever this father is, why isn't he coming to get me? No matter who it is. Like, why aren't they looking for me? The pain of that he's lived with. And when you think about 41 years, that's 4 decades. Yes. To have that question hanging over your head. And I'm so blessed. He wrote to me, and he was actually a person that sent me an email, and we were able to help him.
Right now we are talking to Judge Lauren Lake. I wish you were here the other day. I thought about you when Dwight Howard was up here, and he was talking about child support, and he was saying he doesn't think child support is fair, and he was going on about it and how for some women it's a come up. So I want to get your thoughts.
I follow you, and I watched that interview. It was a great interview.
I was like, where's Lauren Lake?
Yeah. I watched. I was like, let me ride up there. But no, I think what we have to do as a society is understand that you're right. Child support has always been skewed in favor of the mother, and now, which is usually the custodial parent. Through the past, the mother usually is the person that has the child. The father is the one that goes out and work. Now things are changing.
You see Halle Berry.
Yeah, you took it right out of my mouth. And there are many other high-profile women who are paying child support for children, and people don't really talk about that. This is real, but I do think the laws and the way we skew child support can be unfair. But at the same time, raising a child is expensive, so that means we need care and support for the child. But sometimes the way child support orders are laid out, it tends to be unfair. We have a lot of parents, I do believe, that are overpaying, right? In relation to what the child's needs would be or what the income of the other co-parent is. And that is also a matter of working through the court system. If you can, petitioning, sometimes you might petition for a reduction, and that has happened. I think that was a case a while ago. I'm trying to call up who it was. I can't call it right now, but there was a case where a man did go in. I think it was a professional athlete that was like, no, I pay for every single item of the kids that they need. Everything is done, insurance, schooling, and I believe the child support was lowered in that instance. So it has happened.
It happened for Halle Berry too, for her daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, she went back, I think last year, and got it lowered.
Yes.
Also.
Sometimes you're able to do that.
Is there a way to make child support fair? Because I know every case is so different.
See, that's the problem.
And that's the problem, right? Because there's no one size fits all when it comes to child support. Because then on the flip side, there's so many fathers who barely pay anything, and it's not really taking care of half the expenses.
Then you have that. There's a lot of fathers, and like I said, be clear, there's also mothers as well, but there are a lot of children who are not being cared for, right? Where the child support is not coming in. And then you have situations where the parent may be overpaying when you look at the case, and every single case is different. The issue is the court does not have the bandwidth to come into the home, right? And say, so that mother went and got braces for herself instead of braces for the child with that money. They don't have time to do that. And then I also think sometimes moms get a bad rap because it is expensive. And I'm a mother. There are so many intangible expenses that you don't think about. And I'm a firm believer in men really fighting for and petitioning for joint legal and physical custody. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that will cut out the child support, but in some instances, there is an opportunity for it to be lowered if it can be proven that the child's needs would still be met. And I think it's important for fathers not to just have the onus of paying money, but also paying attention, because that's what the child needs. And see, mothers got to understand that too.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do in a situation where the mom is like, I'm not letting the father see this kid because I don't get along with him, and I'm just going to keep that? Because would you tell a dad, okay, well, you're going to have to go to court?
You do. And you have to not be afraid of the law and be empowered by the law. I can't tell you how many clients I had when I was a practicing family attorney. Young men where I go, listen, you got to fight this. And they be like, what would I got to do? Go to court? And I go, yeah. Nah, I ain't going up in court. Because look, and especially as black folks, don't nobody want to go to court. They be thinking, as soon as I walk up in here on this family case, some old ticket gonna come up. Some old misdemeanor that, I haven't, we have a fear of the law. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about doing court shows like We the People, Paternity Court, and Paternity Matters, is to empower people with the law, to kind of give them those legal lessons to say, listen, if you caught up and you out there anyway, you strung up anyway, you might as well go get you a lawyer or find you a father's rights group, right? There's a lot of activism out there.
Yes.
And figure out how you can empower yourself with the law and help you get reconnected with your children.
We'll be back with more with Judge Lauren Lake from Paternity Matters TV. You know her from Paternity Court and also We the People. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Now I'm back at it.
You vibing Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and I'm talking to Lauren Lake from Paternity Matters. There's a lot going on, like, for instance, with everybody taking these DNA tests,
yes.
right? These 23andMe and African ancestry,
yes.
and then finding out, you know, I know some people who have found out that their whole life, I thought this person was my father.
Yes. It is a lie.
And it is not my dad.
It is not my dad.
And so, like, currently I know somebody who hasn't told her mom the situation yet, you know, and she doesn't know how to approach it.
And she has to.
With her.
And I think that's one thing that I am so passionate about. We have got to make things that were used to be taboo teachable. You know, paternity and DNA used to be things you took to the grave. That's not the case now. We have got to be able to have difficult conversations. At the end of the day, living your life with a secret hanging over your head, that thwarts your very existence.
Right.
Living with, am I not? No one deserves that. And so we have to use these tools to empower us. And I think she has to find the courage to have the conversation, maybe find another family member she trusts or a friend of her mother's and say, Mom, I really need to have a really difficult conversation with you.
And, you know, the other part of it is finding out that you have this whole other family, too.
Yeah.
You know, because he didn't even know. She did talk to her father,
right.
But then he ended up passing, and now, you know, there's a situation with, does she deserve to get any of
inheritance issues?
Yes.
We used to cover that on Paternity Court, and we
That's
have some
why
of that
that's so
on Paternity
important.
Matters. Yes. What does the will say to all of my children? Does it name them? You know, there are going to be issues arising because of this, because of all of these secrets that are coming to the light.
Ooh.
And we need to, I think, begin to understand that the longer we try to hold it off, the worse it gets. And I'll say this. It has been very rare that I've had a secret come out where even, you know, because, you know, we called it Paternity Court, but I used to say on any given day, it could be called Maternity Court, because oftentimes the women were the keepers of the secret,
yes.
right? And so when that secret came out, there was the relief. At some point, you got to step up to the plate and say, ain't no shame in my game. I did it. We're all human.
Right.
We've all been there. I used to say that in Paternity Court when everybody be whispering, when they say, oh, it could be 3 possible fathers. I might stop and just be like, y'all know so. Y'all done slept with more than one man this month.
You know, you had a little, I saw there was one
Yes.
where she slept with her boyfriend's best friend.
Yep.
Woo, that was viral.
And that was viral, and it happens. So there are very real, I think, connections, humanity things where we have all been betrayed. We have all fallen short of what we thought our best selves were. We have all lied. We have all struggled to tell the truth in a moment where we knew we needed to or we owed someone the truth. None of us are exempt from being human. And so I am the judge, but there are levels that I judge on and then levels that I don't.
Because the other side of that, when you find out somebody's not your dad, the person who thought he was your dad is about to find out that, you know, according to these results, and you're not my blood father.
And that's one of the things I love most because, you know, Paternity Court and even on We the People, we've had several cases where you could tell the fathers wanted to be the father. We are able to show men that really want to be fathers.
Yes.
Not that you are not the father and everybody
running out
shucking
the
and
stage,
jiving. No, we ain't doing all that. That's why I always say I'm running a courtroom, not a circus. We ain't clowning because this is serious. And there's going to be someone here that's getting a truth that they didn't know they were coming for. And so I'm very proud of the work that I've done because we're able to show fathers who step up and they're the ones that file the petition. I want to know. There are fathers that are devastated. I mean, that's some of the shows that have gone most viral.
Yes, when
are the ones when the fathers are just horrified, or the ones where they say, I'm going to still be in your life. That's beautiful. That's what we try to do each and every day, is to show the beauty of being a father and recognize that there are great fathers out there.
Well, listen, Lauren, like, I love everything that you're doing. Did we miss, is there anything else that we want to make sure that we touch on?
Just watch Paternity Matters.
There's a new book coming or...
I'm going to be doing a new book. just right now, the thing is We the People is back on.
Yes.
Going to be coming back on for season 2. Please tune into that. Of course, Paternity Court is limitless. I never get tired of people watching and sharing that. But Paternity Matters airs on YouTube at Judge Lauren Lake TV.
But what I love, again, Lauren Lake really cares, and she talks that talk and walks that walk in real life. I've witnessed it myself personally. So I appreciate you for coming up here.
So glad to
praying
be here.
I never have to be on Paternity Matters for any reason, but, you know.
No.
But I'll send some people your way.
Thank you.
Because I get a lot of calls up here.
Please do.
And I'm dead serious. Like, I've had
Tell
a
them to
lot
call
of
me.
people call up here.
818-850-6568. You can text me.
Okay. I trust her, guys. It's Way Up with Angela Yee, Judge Lauren Lake.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we have Ask Yee. 800-292-5150 is the number. Any questions you have, make sure y'all call us up. I got you. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Hey, everybody, whether it's relationship or career advice, Angela's dropping facts.
All you should know.
This is Ask Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and you know what time it is. It's time for Ask Yee. Any question you have, I'm here to help. 800-292-5150. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for chatting with me.
Of course. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's your question?
So I figured I'd call in and chat about, dating in New York. I'm in my mid-20s, and so I'm at that weird age where, like, people are about to get married, get engaged. And I've been single for a while, and I'm not really sure how to navigate the dating scene and figure out, if people are serious about dating or if they're still in their, like, hookup phase. So I wanted to get your take on how to approach that.
I always approach dating as it's a hookup phase until it gets serious, because you don't know what it's going to turn into. A lot of times people start off like they don't know if they want something serious until it is the right person. So I never really, it's important to know like where you are. Like if you're like, okay, I want to have a relationship and this is the plan, but you can't put that pressure on the other person right away. So I think it's just really important for you to see if I like you as a person and as a friend first before I feel like we want to move to the next level. And you got to be patient with yourself. You're still in your, your mid-20s. New York is you're not from New York. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Long Island, but, I spend most of my time in the city.
Okay. And so I would say another thing to do is referrals. I love a referral when it comes to dating because it is a lot harder to just, and you can do it. I was just actually in the bathroom talking to a friend who works up here who met her man on social media. I mean, not on social media, but on a dating app, because she knew what she wanted. And I think dating apps, really reputable ones, she used Bumble. They're good because people are paying a subscription and they have a goal and a purpose, and you can learn a lot about a person before you even meet up with them for the first time, if that's what you want to do. But the other thing is to get out there, let people know, look, if you know anybody that you could hook me up with, let me know. And if it's somebody that you trust and you trust their judgment, then there's nothing wrong with doing things. And it is important. Do you go out a lot? Like, do you go to events and mixers?
Oh, yeah. I love going out to new bars, going to different events, just honestly open to anything. And I feel like the city's the best place for that. So I guess it's just a matter of going to the place with the right people.
Yeah. And even sometimes getting there a little early and sitting by yourself, because sometimes it's hard to approach somebody if they have a whole bunch of people with them and then you end up just talking to whoever you're with. Like if you go out to eat, sit at the bar instead of getting a table, because when you're sitting at the bar, you tend to be a little bit more personable and talking to people and mixing a little bit more than if you're at a table. No one's going to come up to the table, but if you're at the bar, you can have conversations.
Yeah, that's for sure. Do you have a good pickup line for when you are at the bar for like how to start that conversation?
Give a compliment, be like, okay, I really like that shirt. And that's a good conversation starter, or a little joke always goes a long way.
I will take that down. That's for sure. Thank you so much.
Of course. Good luck. You sound like you'll be a fun time.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too. Well, that was ASCII. Dating is definitely tough, but I will say there's a lot going on in New York. So anybody who's here, there's no reason you can't be out and about and meeting people in person. But, if you're busy or that's not your thing, you can always go on one of these apps and find love that way. All right. When we come back, it's time for you guys to have the last word. 800-292-5150 is the number. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Pick up the phone.
Tap in. Tap in and get your voice heard.
What the word is.
Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. For some reason, it feels like a Friday. but it's not. It's Thursday, guys, September 7th. All right. Well, I want to say a big thank you to Lauren Lake for joining me today. Judge Lauren Lake. Paternity Matters. Make sure y'all check out her show. Okay. Also, a big shout out to Mitchell S. Jackson for joining us. And make sure you pick up his book, Fly. It's all about basketball, about NBA players and their fashion. It's Fashion Week here in New York, so there's a lot of activities going on. Also, Top Boy is back out on Netflix today, so make sure you guys watch that as well. And I just want to take a moment to thank God. No, honestly, something amazing just happened to me. I was really concerned about this test that I have to take, and so some good news came in. And every time something good happens, I'd be like, thank you, God. Won't he do it? God is good all the time. All right. Well, again, we will be back tomorrow, and tomorrow's going to be a big day. Shout out to Cardi B. She has a new song with Megan Thee Stallion coming tomorrow. And I told you guys yesterday, I listened to the song. Actually, Mano and myself, we listened to the new song. It's called Bongos. And y'all are going to love it. I feel it. And I see it shows the power of Cardi B. I briefly talked about the song, and then I was like, I don't want to say too much. And then somehow what we said ended up, all on Twitter and everything and social media. But Cardi B is going to be coming up here herself tomorrow to talk about her new song, to talk about working with Megan Thee Stallion, to talk about a lot of other things that she has going on, because she has a lot of really viral meme moments that I know people have not gotten full explanations for right now. But she seems like she's in a really good place, so we're excited to have her. She's always so sweet and gracious to everybody. All right, well, thank y'all for joining me again. And as usual, this is all about you, so you guys get to have the last word. Tomorrow's also Tell Us a Secret. That's all about you, too. 800-292-5150 is a number. You can always call us up, leave the last word, a question for Ask Yee. You can tell us a secret. You can shine a light on somebody. We do it all. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yeah, my name is Jarvis Williams. I wanted to shine a light on my wife, Chantel Williams from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She's been doing her thing. She has her own boutique called Jada's Closet, 8601 West Greenfield. Ladies, if you're out and about, you want to shop, get some nice fashion, jewelry, body essentials like body butter and things like that, shop Jada's Closet. Thanks. We appreciate it.
Hello, Angela. I've been a vegan for about 20 plus years now. And listen, I know that you have the discipline. Yes, you who owns stores, who owns shops, who is in real estate, who is not spending your money because you're investing. I know, Angela, that you are able to be disciplined when you go out to dinner. You just want to drink. You just want to eat. And I'm sorry, I respect you so much. I feel like I'm yelling at you. I don't mean to, but you can have water. You can call ahead and speak to the restaurant chef, which I've done many times, and speak to them to have something, catered or made just for you. You can do this. Love you, girl.
Good morning. I would love to shine a light on my youngest son. I had major heart surgery a couple of years ago, and he was getting ready to get out of the military. So he came to Arizona and took care of me, and now he is currently in school. But he's an awesome child. He's 26 years old. He has a plan. He's sticking to it. And I just want and wish all men his age to become a good person in life. Trust me, it will go a long way. Thank you so much, and I love you, Angela. Thank you so much and so kindly.
It's showtime. Yeah, I'm about to tear it up. You tapped in and Way Up with Angela Yee.
I want it now.